I've almost made it, I think, pedaling my bicycle faster when I see the castle's crenellated tower at the summit. I've ridden past yellowing autumn farmland, past the Preventorium's dormitories for boys, and past the terracotta roof-topped houses of the village. And despite blistered feet and scuffed saddle shoes, I'm feeling cocky. As I near the castle proper, I'm no longer worried anyone is going to take what I've carried all this way. Which is probably why I'm so surprised to see Sergeant Travers' old black Citroën parked by the village fountain. Quelle malchance. What shit luck. Sergeant Travers patrols our village every evening on his way home. For some reason, the gendarme is early today, and having stalled out his jalopy, he's got the hood up to repair it. I try to ride past, but he notices and waves me over. My heart sinks as Travers approaches, doffing his policeman's cap, then resting his hand on his holstered pistol. "What have we here, mademoiselle?" I pretend to be calm while he peers into my bicycle pannier basket. "Just some supplies from Pologuet." That's the nearest little town, where I bought dried sausage with ration coupons, but I traded on the black market to get sugar, paper for my classroom, and medicine for the doctors at the Preventorium. Black market barters for hard-to-find goods are illegal. I took the risk anyway for a good cause, but I had a selfish motive too. One the snooping constable uncovers with a disapproving arch of his bushy brow. "Cigarettes?" According to our new leader, Marshal Pétain, French women who smoke, not to mention foreigners and unpatriotic school teachers, are to blame for France's defeat. Personally, I think it had more to do with Hitler. Maybe it even had to do with military leaders like Pétain who believed in fairy tales like the stupid Maginot Line to keep us safe. I can't say something like that, though. I shouldn't even think something like that about the Marshal, the man who saved France in the last war, and as everyone says, the only man who can save us now. But merde, what smug idiots got us into this war. Hitler's panzer divisions rolled past French defenses 5 months ago. The Allies fled at Dunkirk, leaving 40,000 French soldiers to cover their retreat and hold the Germans back. All for nothing. 18 days later, we surrendered to the shock of the world. Like almost everyone else, I was relieved. I thought the fighting would stop and that Henri would come home. But now a swastika is flying over the Eiffel Tower, and France, or what's left of her below the line of demarcation, is neutral while Britain fights on, alone. Almost 2 million French soldiers are prisoners of war, including Henri. My Henri. Given all that, smoking is the only thing keeping me sane, so the lie comes easily. The cigarettes are for the Baron. The gendarme looks over his shoulder at the castle and says, "I took the Baron de la Grange more for a man who prefers a pipe." The Baron is now the acting president of the Preventorium. The Baroness trained as a nurse in the last war and has a knack for organization, but, unfortunately, women aren't supposed to run anything now, so her husband got the job. And as the founder of an elite pilot's training school and a senator with connections in the new Vichy government, the Baron is too powerful to question about cigarettes. Travers knows it and knits those bushy brows. For a moment, I think he'll shrug and walk away. Instead, he sweeps autumn leaves off the low stone wall and leans against it. "It gets lonely around here these days, mademoiselle, does it not? Tell me, what does a school teacher with such pretty blue eyes do when class is not in session?" "I lie about, eating chocolates." What does he think? There are 400 sick children to feed at the Preventorium, which means growing vegetables, milking cows in the dairy, and helping to raise and butcher pigs. Every day since the war started has been a struggle, but I don't think he cares about that. No, I think the gendarme is after something else when he reaches for my wrist and traces it with his thumb. Your tone is sharp, mademoiselle. You ought to show more respect for an officer of the law. I probably should, considering he could arrest me or seize my ill-gotten goods. But I'm too angry that he's touching me. I don't think he'd dare if I were wearing my engagement ring. It's tucked under my scarf, hanging from my neck on a chain because it kept slipping off a finger that has become, like the rest of me, thinner than before the war. Thinking about it makes me combative. You really want to know what I do when I'm lonely? I kiss the picture of my fiancé, praying for his safe return from his prisoner of war camp. That's enough to shame the gendarme, who shrugs like he was just testing me. I wish all French women were so devoted,